You know, we are a healing church, and we believe in the power of God's love to heal and transform our lives and to get us into that healthy flow of actually expressing that Christ consciousness that Jesus came to show us and teach us about. So I was asked to do a series on some principles of healing. So I'd like to begin with just a little mini lesson on the flow of energy. Energy flows from a source. It will move through a conduit or a channel and not really change its form. Then it goes into the space where it's received. It will be received by something, transformed as it's received, and then emitted in a transformed way. You see? So, and then it's expressed again as something different. So it's this flow. It may change along the way, but it's still a flow of energy. So they wanted us to think about electricity as it moves through the lines, and it reaches your lamp, moves into your light bulb, and now it's turned into a different type of energy than the electricity that came into the wall, and now it's expressing. And we can follow that pretty clearly, right? All right. They wanted me to bring up about water flow, how those snows will melt and the energy will go down into the rivers and the water, and it will begin to flow. And that energy is then siphoned off into land and trees, and it goes to feed, and it becomes something different at every twist and turn along its experience, once it comes to a space where it can be received. But while it's in the flow, it's still the water flowing. The reality is there is no final destination of energy. Okay? Now, for humans, for us to live, we need light, we need love, and we need nutrients. And all these energies come from various sources into our body to feed it. And since there is no final destination of energy, it's supposed to be now expressed from us in a different way. We're supposed to take in the energy, transform it, and let it move through us back out into the world to be a blessing. When the body begins to feel like it is the final destination, and it doesn't have to give back, blocks are created. Okay? When the body begins to feel like it is the final destination of that energy, and it does not have to give back, blocks are created. What would happen if all the electric energy that was coming into the house and in through the lamp, and the little bulb said, you know what, I am not doing this right now. I am not going to let you express through me. I am not choosing to put light into this world. I'm just not going to do it. You know what happens? We've seen it all the time. There's an overamping. It blows. It blows. The bulb is not in harmony with the energy coming through it, and it explodes. We've all seen water when it stagnates, haven't we? Water that can no longer flow, that can't be used to feed, it begins to pool. And what they said was stagnant water is non-moving, but stagnant water is not non-growing. What does it begin to grow? Bacteria and algae, and things that are not in harmony with forward motion. Because the minute that water starts to flow again, those things are not fed, because they're not fed in forward motion. So they said back to the human, back to the light bulb. As the energy comes into your house and moves through your house, it comes in at basically a steady voltage, right? Unless there's spikes on the line, which used to be the case in the old days. I don't know if they still have that. It was coming in pretty consistently. It moves into the lamp with a 100-watt bulb. 100 watts is emitted. As it moves into the lamp with the 60 watts is emitted. It's being received, and it's being transformed, and it's being expressed at the level of the receiver. Simple. Now, when it comes to us, energy flowing through us, it is doing the same thing. Energy moves through us and expresses through us at the level that we're able to allow it. And they ask us to remember, do you realize that when you move into your higher self, when you do a meditation and you connect with God and you feel that beautiful energy of God love and you lift, you are actually changing your voltage or your output from 40 watts to maybe 100 watts. Do you see? By simply lifting into a higher mind, you can emit greater into the world. Or you can stay at the 40 watt, or you can blow your bulb. It's totally your choice. Our human consciousness, we know, chooses to affect the energy that moves through us. When we have a thought of isolation and we're mad at the world, the energy still comes in and we blow a fuse. Okay? When we have a thought that says, I don't love you and I don't want to be around you anymore, the energy still comes in and it becomes that stagnant pool. And now instead of flowing love, we start growing bacteria. We can even block the way our body absorbs nutrients, but we cannot block our body's need to eat. How powerful are we? So powerful, right? When energy doesn't flow freely, it creates blocks, and blocks become disease. Thoughts become beliefs, beliefs become biology. When you ask for healing to occur, whether you're going to a physician or a healer, when you ask for healing to occur, what's going on within you is you are saying, I want to remove within me this illness and whatever caused it. You are so open for healing. I want the illness and whatever caused it to be removed, don't you? Mm-hmm. You ask the doctor, don't just heal it this time, make sure it doesn't come back. Yeah. You say to the healer, let's go to original cause on this one. I don't want to deal with this again. You are now open to change, and that's when healing can really occur. When Jesus said at every healing, go and sin no more. You know, you go and you get your healing, you get the cause of the thought shifted. And Jesus said, go and sin no more. You know what that means. Go and don't do what you did before. To everyone, don't do what you've been doing. Okay? Why? Because if you go back and do what you've been doing, you're going to recreate what you created. Nothing will have changed. And we all know those moments when you get that healing and you get that realization and you know it. You know it. You feel fabulous. You feel empowered. And then you go back into the environment that you lived in when you were in a diseased state. And what does that environment tell you? You're diseased. You're less than. Who do you think you are? And the environment starts to wear at you and try to bring you back down to this state of consciousness that created the disease. That's why we have to watch our flow of energy. When we feel healed and we feel empowered and we feel that light moving through us, and then we move and we're told by something in the outer or a memory or a thought that this can't really be true, it can't be happening. The minute we do that, we've just dammed the flow in our body. We've just created pockets where it's not moving any longer. And now we have the opportunity to recreate blocks, challenges, diseases, whatever. So, do you see how important it is to be a steward of your energy? Your energy and your thoughts. But if you get anything today, I want you to start seeing yourself as energy. I want you to start seeing yourself as needing to give back, needing to express, needing to shine and be. Spirit asked me this year to discuss the principles of Reiki. And you all know we're a healing church and we do Reiki, we teach Reiki. Let me tell you if you don't know what Reiki is. Reiki is a beautiful, gentle, healing energy that moves from the practitioner into the cells of the recipient. The cells of the recipient actually have to draw it from the hands. You cannot force it into anybody. If you've never had a Reiki treatment, this is what we do on Healing Night. It's fabulous, it's gentle, and it's easy. Patrick and I were initiated as masters in 1991, so we've been doing Reiki and teaching Reiki for almost 20 years. And when I was taught Reiki, by that time I had worked in the healing arts in many different ways. In Rohan, chakra balancing, spiritual massage, very intense, very strong healing modalities with people. And this was so gentle, so gentle. It really took me a while to see how deeply it worked. And what it did was move through the energy of the person to remove and start lifting out the disease state, the causal thought, and the energy they had pocketed. The blocks, the ponds, the overramping, lifting it all out Sometimes healings would occur in one session. Sometimes it would take a series of sessions. But it was always this beautiful, loving energy moving through the body. In the tradition that we were taught through Reiki. Reiki was rediscovered by a man named Dr. Usui. And he did his prayer and meditation. I won't go through the whole story with you. You can read it in a book. But he found himself, when he realized what he had, he found himself wanting to share it. So he was in Japan and he went into the beggars' quarters. This is well before World War II. It's right at the turn of the century. And he served in the beggars' quarters for many years. And he healed the body. He would heal the bodies. He would take them through this process. And one day he had a young man on his table, and the young man had an illness. And Dr. Sui started working on him, and then he said, "I remember you. Didn't I work on you years ago for this very same thing?" And the young man said, "Yes, you did." And Dr. Sui said, "Weren't you healed?" And the young man said, "Yes, I was. I got healed. I went out into the world. I got a job. I was taking care of my family, and it's just too hard. So I decided I'd come back and beg again." And he had been begging for enough time that he recreated the illness that he'd had originally. He went back into the lower consciousness of, think about begging, not wanting to give back. You don't want to give back. You want to take in but not give back. You see? At that moment, this is the awakening for Dr. Sui. He realized that you could not just heal the body. You had to also address the thoughts. And this is when he wrote the 5 principles of Reiki, 2 of which I'm going to discuss with you today. But I wanted to get you where you can hear me. Your thoughts, your beliefs govern your energy. Your energy creates your health, or your flux, your lack of health. So as someone works on you and heals you, and you say, "Heal it, heal the causal thought, take it from me now." If you don't want to see it again in 5 years, you also have to change the thoughts within. Okay? So, the first principle of Reiki, let me just tell you, they all start with "just for today." Just for today I will. Because one day you can do anything. I can do anything just for today. Just for today I will not worry. That's the first principle. Just for today I will not worry. And I want you to think with me about worry. Worry takes your energy forward into the future or back into the past. And how present are you? How able are you to express energy if you're worrying? They said, when you worry, you are dwelling in the discomfort of the past, or you are projecting discomfort into the future. Doesn't that sound like fun? And in this process, we are doing exactly what the stagnant pond does. We are growing things that are out of harmony with our movement. You with me? Okay. In our society, we create worry as equal to love. "Oh, I'm worried about you, honey." What does that tell you? "Oh, I love you so. I'm so worried about you, I'm projecting all kinds of negative things around you. I'm not trusting your choices. I'm so worried about you." And that's what we're taught to do. We're taught that if we don't worry, we don't care. But when you think about it, where's the block occurring? Within you. And then you are creating an environment within the person that you're speaking to that hinders them. Do you see? So they said, when we worry, we are projecting discomfort into our own world because of someone else. If I'm going to worry about anyone, I'm projecting discomfort into my world because of somebody else. And can I control somebody else? No. Who is among you who by worrying can add 1 cubit to his stature? Why do you worry about clothing? Observe the wild flowers, how they grow. They don't get tired, neither do they work. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will look after itself.